Okay, guys, we are going to go over your study guide. So remember, your test is on Thursday, okay? It is Tuesday. Tomorrow you will review, and your test will be on Thursday. So let's go over first the vocabulary. So first, ecosystems are all living and non-living things in an area and their interactions. Second, a habitat is a place that provides all things an organism needs to live. Next, a community is different populations in an area. A population is a group of organisms of one species that live in an area at the same time. A predator is an animal that hunts and eats other animals. A prey is any animal that is hunted by others for food. A consumer is organisms that cannot make their own food. When you think of consumer, I want you to think of like people. We consume things, we eat things. Anything that eats something is a consumer because they consume things. A producer is an organism that makes their own food for energy. They produce things, they make things. A decomposer is an organism that gets their energy by breaking down wastes and dead organisms. And pollution is any substance that damages the environment. Now on the test, these vocab words will be matching. So you're going to have a word bank and you will have to fill in the blank with the word bank. So you'll have the definition on the test and you'll have a word bank. All right, now let's take a look at the first question. These questions are going to be very similar to those on your test. So ecosystems have abiotic and biotic factors. What are the difference between those? So biotic factors are all the living things in an ecosystem, all the living organisms. So you have the plants and the animals are all biotic factors. Abiotic factors are all the non-living parts in an ecosystem. So that's where you get your air, your water, your soil, and things like that. I'm going to upload pictures of this too, so you guys can take a minute if you need to go back and look at that. Okay, what is the niche or the role of an owl in a forest? So the role of an owl is a hunter or a predator. Okay, so then I want you to think like, what would the role of a deer be? A deer would be a prey. They would be hunted. Okay, good job. The next question, what are factors that limit the carrying capacity of habitats? This can be found on page 129 if you need to look back at it. The factors are the amount of water, food, space, and shelter. Remember, carrying capacity is how much space, how much a habitat can hold of a certain species. Okay? And if there's only so much food, so much water, so much space, and so much shelter, you can only fit so many animals or so much of a species in there. If we take a look at the pictures below, you had to tell me if it was a producer, a consumer, or a decomposer. The mushroom or the fungi is a decomposer. The grass is a producer. The bacteria is a decomposer. The moose is a consumer. The tree is a producer. And the people are consumers. It says, give an example of each of the following consumers. And this stuff can be found on page 132. Herbivores eat plants. When you see the word herbivore, I want you to think of that beginning part of the word herb. H-E-R-B. When you think of that, you think of kind of like the spices you would use in the kitchen. So they eat plants, and you think of moose, deer, rabbits. You might have something else, okay? And that's okay. As long as they just eat plants, that's fine that you have something different than me. Omnivores, they eat both plants and animals. Something like black bear and turkey. So black bear eat both fish and plants. Let me see if I can zoom this in a little bit. There we go. Next we have carnivores. They eat just meat. We have lions, seals, and tigers. We have scavengers. They eat the dead animals you would see like on the side of the road. Ugh. And we have vultures and hyenas. Now it's asking what the difference between a food chain and a food web is. Now remember, both show the flow of energy, but a food chain shows steps on how energy moves, but a food web is a collection of food chains. All right, number 7. We are bringing back that symbiosis. This is a relationship between two different organisms. Remember, we talked about 3 different types, and what are they? Explain them. So remember, we have mutualism. We have 2 happy faces. Yay! 2 happy faces. Both organisms benefit. Both things are happy. Both organisms are benefiting from this. Then we have commensalism. We have 1 happy face and 1 meh face, okay? 1 organism benefits, 1 organism is not helped or harmed. Nothing happens to the second organism. They're just kind of there for the ride. They're along for the ride. So we have mutualism, commensalism, and lastly, we have parasitism. In parasitism, 1 organism is happy, yay, it benefits, and 1 organism is bleh, it is harmed, okay? It hurts. It's hurt somehow. Number 8, we wanted to list some slow changes, some fast changes, and some changes made by humans. And this can be found on page 140 and 141 in your book. Some slow changes are climate, seasons, and the continents drifting. Some fast changes are hurricanes, forest fires, floods, and earthquakes. Some changes made by humans are changes to land, to build for crops, to fish for food, or to clear forests. And then the last 2 questions, you can see I left them blank. I left them blank because there are so many examples out there that you probably have different examples than everyone else does. Okay, so we're just going to talk about them. So what are some examples of pollution? There are so many examples out there that every example that you probably have written down is perfectly fine. So there's air pollution, there's water pollution, there's littering, there's noise pollution, there is smoke pollution. There's all kinds of stuff that you could write down for that. Okay? So anything that you have written down that is any substance that damages the environment is perfectly fine. And then the last one's, how can we protect the environment? Any way that we can protect the environment, anything that you wrote down as a way to help the humans protect the environment is perfectly fine. Whether it be recycling, reducing waste, reusing things, not littering, helping clean up, conservation, reservation, not fishing so much. Anything that you wrote down is perfectly fine. Okay, I am going to upload this as well to this Google Classroom post. I am also going to tomorrow upload a review for you guys to do, and then your test will be on Thursday. Don't forget to join the Zoom if you have any questions, and I hope you guys have a great day.